Okay. According to the picture here, we are live. So there you go. I don't know how true it is, but that's what it's saying. Uh, well,
I just,
welcome from behind enemy lines to Rick's Life as I See It, Shooting with Disabilities, a 1 hour talk show about shooting with disabilities. I mean, you don't even have to have an official one. Having just arthritis in your hands or whatever counts, basically. If you hurt, you're included. you know, as we're getting older, we hurt. Old age just happens to do it to us. Uh, we talk about that. Plus, we go off topic and talk politics and anything else that crosses our mind. And, this is Rick's Life as I see it. What do you expect? You know, uh, if you got any topics you want talking about, just put them in the chat or send me an email at rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com. Or if you want the shorter version, spottedrick@gmail.com. Comes to the same place. And
I like the spotted Rick part.
yeah, I might talk. I got to talk to my lower third there. Get that email changed to Spotted Rick. Also normally within 24 hours of the show ending, this will be on podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, and iTunes for your pleasure. I also simultaneously broadcasting on YouTube and gun channels. So there you go. That's about it. I think I got all my announcements out the way. If anybody wants to sponsor me, feel free. In that sense, I mean, or if you want me to push your channel, send me some swag. Like stickers with your name on it, or badges, poker chips, whatever. I'll hold them up here and do your thing for you. I don't have a problem with that. Not only that, it gives a good chance for somebody to win something. And it's good good public relations with gun channel community. There you go. So okay, so that's it. So let's get going. On my panel right now, I have Wheelchair Warrior and Night Strike. Still waiting for a couple of more guests to come in. We're going to introduce them as they arrive. Now, for topic, I sent an email out to my two main cohorts, Wheelchair and David, that I've had things going on at the beginning of this week, so I really didn't have a topic and I was going to wing it. But luckily, Wheelchair has come to the rescue. So I'll let him start it off, then we'll take it from there. Over to you, Wheelchair. Uh-oh.
Winging it is my territory.
okay, now I'm here.
Okay.
I just couldn't get it off mute. It was not cooperating with me.
Okay, no problem. I'm just saying, what's your topic?
Shooting with Parkinson's or essential tremors, or in some cases, some people just the shakes on occasion.
Yeah.
And how to overcome those obstacles to still be able to shoot. You won't necessarily be a, competition shooter, but combat, self-defense type situations, you can definitely do the job.
Hey, Zippy. Hey, Sean. I'm personally myself. I mean, shooting in sort of like if you're out at the range, you could use a stand of some sort to rest the gun on.
Yeah, but if you practice with a stand, you're always gonna, you're always gonna fall back to your basic what you practice. And if you're in a self-defense situation where you don't have that, then you need to be prepared to be able to shoot without that assistance. And a lot of it falls back to just your basic fundamentals of how to shoot. Trigger pull, your grip, and not concentrating on competing with other people, but concentrating on your own personal performance. You want to, if you can hit an 8-inch target, then you can shoot in self-defense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you said if you can get it into that circle of, mass area, you don't have to have say you have like mine carries 10 rounds in the magazine. You don't have to have all 10 rounds hitting the same hole, as long as you're in that for self-defense, as long as you're in that circle there, of the mass area, you're good to go, I would say.
Yeah, and what happens with most of us when we have these issues, I have Parkinson's, and I've noticed myself and read a lot of studies on it, and a lot of people who have shaking issues when they're shooting, they tend to slap that trigger, jerk the trigger, and they're, just the basics of trigger control go out the window because so focused on trying to hit the target. As soon as you see it slightly aligned, you yank the trigger and then you miss.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying so much about, exactly where you're going to hit on the target, concentrate on your trigger pull, making sure that, you're using the right part of your finger, doing a steady squeeze, and that the actual moment of firing is somewhat of a surprise. I mean, if you've shot a gun more than a couple times, you know pretty much where that trigger is going to break. But, it's that age-old battle of fighting against the anticipation. And other parts of it is your grip. And something that has helped me tremendously, when I line up the shot, if I roll my elbows out to where it locks my arms and shoulders, I shoot 100 times better. But when you're out there on the range or you're in a bad situation, I catch myself all the time not rolling my elbows out, and then I look at my target and I'm like, oh geez, I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, that's good advice there on how to do that. I never thought about it yeah. It's all about, controlling trigger control, I would say would help a lot.
Yeah. And some other things that you can do that are not necessarily shooting related is, all your small muscle groups in your hands and your forearms play a huge role in your shooting. We think about exercise, we bench press, we do push-ups, and we work our shoulders, our chest, our upper back, things of that nature. But we forget about those small muscle groups that have to work in coordination with our large muscle groups to make that shot go off right. And one of the best things you can do is work your hands, whether it's, squeezing a stress ball or one of those little spring-loaded exercise hand grip strengtheners, anything that you can do.
Yeah. All right. I just want to say a couple of hellos here to people. 2 dots come in. Michael G. Just Dano, Patriot in the Dark. I don't know if you've been reading the chat here. He's Patriot says when we were talking about he said that's why I carry a hatchet at time as well as a pistol. It's good to have something to fall back on. Then he goes, I'm really interested to hearing what Night Strike's disability is. Just Daniel says portly challenged. That sounds good to me. Yeah. Or it's between his eyes is his problem.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you were listening. I thought you'd run off somewhere for a minute.
No. I got a new pair of headphones, which are Bluetooth, so I can hear everything.
Oh, okay. All right. So there we go. No, I got Night Strike on here. You never know. I mean, as I said at the beginning, some people who might not have a handicap might have some great ideas that we don't even think about. Plus, plus Night Strike's shooting knowledge is why I have him in here. Plus he makes it.
Yeah, I know. Shooting knowledge. I have knowledge of shooting. Yes. Can I hit the target? Well, that's hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. Shall not be infringed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, but I had that.
Target shall not be infringed.
Yeah. I mean, to a certain degree, like you said, it's the same thing with the my hands when the arthritis is really bad. Trying to hold that gun up there, the end of it shakes like my nerves are going to hell. You know what I'm saying? And you said, yeah, concentrating more. I concentrate more on getting a nice trigger pull than I do. And normally, if I get a nice trigger pull, normally I can hit the target within that sort of 8-inch circle I'm looking at. Because normally what I do is I shoot at still discs, and they're about 8 inches. If I can hit the still disc, I'm happy. That means I've hit my target. If I'm attacked.
Yeah, that's what I normally use out at the outdoor range. I went to the indoor range this past week with my daughter. I had her for the week. And, we went out to an indoor range, and it was first time being in an indoor range in quite some time. And it was fun. I got to work with her on some of her fundamentals and basics, and it just kind of reminded me to do the same thing because, I was doing headshots and center mass shots, and I caught myself on several occasions, too much finger in the trigger, not enough finger in the trigger, things of that nature.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm just reading the chat here. What was it? Squib says we're going to need a whole show dedicated to Night Strike's disabilities. I tell you, they pick on you something terrible, Night Strike. They really do. But that's only because everybody loves you. That's why.
No, that's only because Flippy isn't around all the time.
Oh.
He's an easy target.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. Oh, look, even Sean's in here. Man, I'm getting all the big guys. Just need Ghost Tactical and a Clover Tech, and then I'm hit the big time.
Then we know their disabilities. It's called, they're height challenged.
Yeah, I know. But I was talking to, who was it? Was it Clover the other day? On his chat, I was in there early, and we're talking about going there. And I said, at least I know one thing: when I go, I'm not going to be the only big guy. He said the only skinny guy was Matt.
Mr. Wright, Matt, and Sean were skinnier.
Everybody else were on the big side. You know, so
I'm hoping by next year when I try to go.
You know?
Hey, I am taller than Ghost and Clover. I'll have you know, Rich. So
they're picking on you in the chat again.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm hoping by next year I'll be able to go to Tulsa.
Portly, no, but yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it again this year. In November, but maybe next year in April.
Oh, okay. You're gonna go the following. Okay, because there's another one in November, right?
Yeah, it's every April and November.
Yeah. Well, if my hip thing goes right, and I'm depends how long it's recover. They said it would take 8 to 12 weeks to recover with the hip. So, and they're doing it in July, so that's July, August, September. I should be about ready.
Sean is saying start the super chats for Night Strike's November trip. As much as I'd love to go again, Sean, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'd have to sell another rifle, and I don't want to sell my rifles anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know where you're coming from. I haven't sold any of mine yet. I got a couple of bills I got to pay, and I'm thinking, do I sell a gun to cover that bill? And I'm thinking if I do it, yes, I'm being Mr. Responsible. But I'll never get the money to buy it back again. Another one. So I went to phase 2. I called the people up that I owed the money to and came up with a payment plan. There you go. So I kept my gun. That's what I did. I mean, being on a fixed income, you got to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? And it's,
I know that very well.
So I went with a payment plan with these people, and they were happy as can be. A lot. All my life I've been. I've never been Mr. Money wise. I always, but I got during my drinking days. Oh man, I used to get myself in some serious trouble. And I would just sort of like hide, stick my head in the sand, hoping it goes away, but it never does. And I find a lot of times if you call people up and say, "Look, I'm having a problem. This is what's going on. Can we work something out?" 9 times out of 10, they're happy to. They really are.
Oh yeah.
And occasionally you might get the odd asshole. I just hang up on him, and he goes to the bottom of the pile anyway.
Yeah, most of your debt collectors, they just want to see an effort.
Oh yeah. And what I try to do is I try to get hold of the companies before it gets to the debt collector. Because otherwise they keep calling and calling and calling.
Yeah, I was referring to the companies themselves. They just want to see that you're making the effort.
Oh yeah.
I've got an ambulance bill I've got to pay, and they're just going to have to accept the payments.
Exactly. And normally if you tell them the situation, 9 times out of 10, they're good with it. So there we go. That's part of living on a sort of like a disability payment, and you weren't ready for it. But I had all my life to be ready for it, but hey, I'm having too much fun.
Oh yeah. Speaking of selling stuff off, I've got pepper spray and stun guns for sale. If anybody's interested, just email me. wheelchairwarrior@gmail.com. I'll be happy to discuss it with you via email.
Yeah. Make sure it's legal in your state.
Exactly. And it's up to you to find out if it's legal or not.
There you go. Okay, back to not disabilities and stuff, but I might talk about this on Saturday too. And it got me thinking because I heard a couple of we were in a chat the other day, and I don't know, was it before or after we were live? I'm not sure. It was talking about like the insurance you can get from like the United States Concealed Carry Association or the NRA or some of those other ones out there. And a couple of were you in that chat, Night Strike? There was a guy in there called Jeff. He owns a business somewhere. And
I might have been.
I don't know. And he didn't. He said I normally don't talk bad of people, but he says he did not the USCCA. He wouldn't go into details. So, but that's who I've been using. I mean, am I looking at the wrong? I mean, should I change companies? Is there better insurance out there?
I've got USCCA, and I've not used the insurance, but they've been fantastic with everything I've talked to them about, and got my Concealed Carry magazine in today, in fact.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they have been with me too. I mean, I talked to them and stuff, and because when I first started it, I was reading all the small print. And they said click on here to read the full details and all this, and I read some of it, and it was saying stuff. I said I didn't understand, so I called them up and asked them. But I actually got it off them. I said, I said, what happened? I said, do I have to pay the bill? Then you reimburse me. And they go, no, we pay it up front. We pay the bill.
Yep.
So that's why I stuck with them. That's what made me stick with them. I hope I never have to use them.
Me too.
But it's just peace of mind. I thought, also being, as I said, being disabled, being more vulnerable, I feel like, I do wear. I mean, even I went to Walmart today with hooked the old scooter on the back of the truck, put it on the carrier. Went to Walmart, got it off of there. But as I'm pottering around getting off, I'm looking around at everything. Any car that pulls close to me, I scrutinize them. I don't know if I'm getting paranoid or what, but it just I just feel. I don't feel like I used to before I became disabled. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was old and fat, I felt I could still take care of myself.
Oh, I understand thoroughly. I mean, they say that this is one of the things to do with PTSD. What was the word that they used? Something or another, vigilant, hyper vigilant. I'm hyper vigilant because I'm constantly looking around and checking people out and checking their eyes to see if they're making eye contact with anybody in particular or looking in any particular direction for any length of time too long. But I personally just feel like that's how we all ought to be. I mean, in Charlotte, we've had, I don't know how many murders so far this year, and you don't ever know where something is going to take place. And I don't think being hyper vigilant is a bad thing.
No, I don't either. But I said I do. I mean, I watch everything coming and going, and I think that's where I mean, I said it could happen anywhere, but I had this feeling. I wouldn't call it. It's not dread, but as you said, more. If I'm going to get attacked, I feel it's going to be either getting in or out of my truck. Because that's the most difficult time for me.
Well, that's when you're the most vulnerable, and that's the way you can overcome that. I was just studying on that earlier this week, different ways, especially for people that are in wheelchairs, because when you're transferring, you're extremely vulnerable. But even like in your situation, you have to put the scooter on the back of the vehicle, and then you have to make your way from the back vehicle to the front.
Yeah, and I'm using a cane, and everything else doing that too,
Right. And so, I mean, were I a predator, that would be my idea of the perfect time to attack. because obviously if you're using a cane, your balance is not that great. You've got a problem with, maintaining standing. So you'd be an easy target to knock down.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of the best ways to avoid becoming a target, before you off of your scooter and put it up on the back of the truck or car, you look around, you make sure nobody's too close to you. Then you put it up there, get it tied down and so on that you have to do. Then again, you check to make sure nobody's too close to you before you proceed to the car. And, as you're opening the door of the car, you want to triple, quadruple check that nobody's close enough to you that they could get to you quickly before you would be able to get completely into the vehicle, because you want to be able to access your weapon if something did happen.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, and I do. I mean, I'm looking all over there all the time when I'm getting in and out, taking that thing off the back of the truck, getting in and out of the truck. And I even then once I get on the thing and I take off, I'm scanning where I'm riding to, just make sure nobody's there. I mean, I'm doing it all the time. And I don't think I'm being paranoid. I think I'm being, hey, if people think I'm being paranoid and they're saying, well, he's looking at everything, I ain't going to touch him. That's what I'm hoping they're saying.
Exactly.
So,
the biggest deterrent to being attacked is being aware of your surroundings. And that's not the person that this majority of predators are going to go after. They're going to go after the person who's not paying attention to anything or got their face in their phone.
Yeah.
Got their hands full and not looking around.
Yeah. Oh, local 223 says there's been 16 murders in Charlotte this year. So I just want to say hi to Grim is here. Who else came in? Biker Bob, 30 Clipazine. Anybody else? I don't know. But if they're there, hi.
Yes, hi to everybody.
Yeah. A stun gun cane. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. With the end of the cane, have the stun thing. Hey, Vanessa. Good to see you. So, look into the Patriot cane out of Florida. They're armed self-defense walking canes. All right, I'll look at them. Biker Bob, I had a stun cane. You did you? Cattle prod cane, Vanessa says.
The cane that I could be used for stunning somebody, not with electricity, but it's metal with a extremely hard plastic handle, and you raise it up and whack somebody upside the head with it, they're going to be very stunned.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, did Black Cat come in? So, hell yes, he did. How you doing?
Someone left the front door open.
Yeah.
RL.
So, what are you? So, has your permit come yet, Night Strike?
No, still waiting in the mail.
Jesus, how long has that been?
Well, I had to send an ID, a picture of my ID with it. So, it's been like 40 or 50 days.
Okay. I mean, it took 94 days for mine to actually come to me.
The fastest it can come is 60 days. The slowest is 90.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I may not get it until sometime the end of this month, or at the very latest, sometime late next month.
Yeah. So, anyway, did you hear what we were talking about, getting in and out of the vehicles and stuff like that? I know you're able-bodied and all that stuff, but do you pay attention to that? Do you pay attention to that stuff?
I'm not that able-bodied. As everyone knows, I've got a gun on me, so I pay attention to getting in and out of the vehicle. Yes, making sure I don't fall on my ass or anything.
Yeah, but are you looking, i.e., as from a defensive point of view, if somebody attacks, like we were talking about?
No, I'm not.
Well, if you're going to start carrying, you might need to.
I need to. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. So,
Yeah, I feel like the situational awareness needs to be something that everybody does, whether they've got a disability or not. It's more important, I think, for a person with a disability because getting in and out of the vehicle is going to take longer and it's more difficult. But, I think it's a good practice for everybody.
Okay, everybody. Oh, all right. So I just lost my video feed on my YouTube chat, but it's back now. So I don't know if anybody else lost it, but no telling. There we go. Normally I don't even look at it. I just happen to have it up there. So oh yeah. So we're getting a few people in here now. That's good. So I know David must be busy because he hadn't shown up, and same as Jared. Because I think on Tuesday nights Jared looks after the kids or something. I think his wife's out or it's his turn or whatever. It's been a long time since I've had to deal with kids at home. You know what I'm saying? Mine left many, many years ago.
Yeah, I had my daughter last week, and I've got my son this week. So,
was he in the gun?
Yeah, we're probably going to go to the outdoor range sometime this week before he has to go back. But he's not as into it as my daughter, but he still enjoys shooting.
Well, that's good. That's good. Actually, when I went down to Florida when my son got married, actually my son's stag night basically was all his friends. We rented half of an indoor range. My oldest son who got married, and my youngest one, they don't own any guns, but they enjoy shooting. So that was a surprise because I didn't know what they had planned for the stag night. And when my son's best friend said, "Oh yeah, we're heading over here. We've hired half the range." I went, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, that sounds like a great stag party to me.
Hey, me too. Me too. I mean, my sons don't drink. You know what I'm saying? They're, if they have a beer, they leave it, and walk out. Even after all these years of not drinking, I still find that hard to believe. But hey, I digress. How can anybody leave a drink on the table? I find that very hard. I've learned to be able to do that now with coffee and water or soft drink. I can walk out and leave it. But when I first got sober, I would even have to finish those before I left. It was just ingrained in me. You don't leave a drink on the table.
Right.
Right.
I've got a friend. I've got a friend. His brother just drinks like he gets those normal 20-ounce bottles of cola.
Yeah.
He only drinks half of it and just leaves the rest sitting around. I'm like,
that sounds like my kids.
I'm like, dude, if you're not gonna drink the whole thing, just buy a 12-ounce can next time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, but
that way you'll actually finish something.
But what really gets me though is I said one night when I was there in Florida, we went out to eat in one of the, it wasn't a fancy, one of those, what you call it, joints. I think it was Roadhouse, one of those type places. Anyway, one of my sons ordered a beer, and we sat there and we ate and we bullshitted. I mean, we had to be there. I mean, there was a big crowd of us. There was about 12 of us from there. And we were there for a couple of hours at least. And when we got up and left, he still had beer left in that glass. And just get up and walked off. And I thought, now after 20 years of not drinking, I'm thinking, this ain't right. But that is what normal people do. See, my drinking wasn't normal.
Yeah, my drinking was never normal. If I had a fifth, I made sure I emptied it.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I know where you're coming from.
Well, I like to, not leave food or even drink. I finish what I order because it's wasteful to not finish what you order.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. The only time I normally don't leave something is if it wasn't cooked right, or I personally ordered something I've never had before and I really don't like it, then I'll leave it. But otherwise, but sometimes I'll even eat the stuff I don't like.
What is it? Waste not, want not.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, one, believe it or not, now this is definitely, you can see people said I'm un-American. I cannot stand mac and cheese. Oh my God, it just turned.
Rick, I'm so disappointed in you.
I know.
Me too.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm sorry, but I've gone over to somebody's house. They serve it up. I mean, I will struggle to eat it, but it's. Oh man, it's hard. It really is. I don't know why. I mean,
I have the same problem of with putting vinegar on fish and chips.
Well, see, I know I love that. But where I'm going with this, I mean, talking about I love cheese. I eat cheese and pickles. British thing, cheese and pickle sandwiches or cheese and onion stuff like that. I'll eat that kind of stuff. But Americans are obsessed with cheese, especially
cheese
in the morning.
And pickle.
If I want a sausage sandwich or sausage,
that doesn't actually sound
sausage and biscuit, I don't want to slice the goddamn cheese on it. If I want cheese, I'll ask the goddamn cheese.
We got to get Rick over his fear or hate of macaroni and cheese because he needs to become American.
Yes.
I mean, he's already halfway there. He owns firearms.
Yeah.
Cheese and pickles.
Well, Branston pickles. It's a mixed pickle. It's pickles. It's hard to describe what it is. It's like dill pickles diced up into little chunks and other kinds of stuff. And it's
so like dill relish.
Yeah, it's like a relish. Yeah. Spread that on top of it, especially using cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese. Oh man, make your tongue bat your brains out.
That actually doesn't sound too bad, Wheelchair.
Yeah, now that you explained it, that don't sound bad.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Of course, it'd be better with a side of mac and cheese.
Oh, no. You keep the mac and cheese. You really can. Oh, got it. I tell you what, now, since I've been disabled, and, we talk about on this fixed income, few of my friends will every now and then will give me a bag of groceries. They go, here. I said, no, I don't need it. I don't beg for it. I don't ask for it. And I try not to take it, but a lot of times they'll throw it into my truck and I can't stop them and stuff. But when I get home, there's some good stuff in there, but there's always 1 or 2 boxes of mac and cheese. I've got so much mac and cheese in this house. I could open a mac and cheese store.
Mac and cheese is an American staple.
I'm thinking of going. I got to go through it and check the dates on the stuff. Some of it's old, but whatever I got, I think I can go take it down to the local food bank. Let them give it to somebody who will eat it. So
yeah, it's not a bad idea.
That's what I was thinking. People help me out, so I'll help them out. Rich White says, my son also said the other day that he doesn't like steak. Oh no, Rich. That's worse than not liking mac and cheese.
You got to nip that in the bud, otherwise he's going to be one of those vegan liberals living out in California.
Yeah, shooting up you
really.
too. No, Rich, you got to sort that one out.
As a kid, I did not like steak, but that's because my parents always bought the really thin steak and they would cook it until it was shoe leather.
Yeah.
That's the way they liked it.
Clover Tech says never enough cheese.
I agree. I could even put cheese on steak and I'd be happy.
You know what? I would too.
Rich White says, I'm beginning to think he was abducted by aliens with a robot.
No, it's the Return of the Pod people.
Yeah.
Robots.
Robots.
Oh, yeah. So there we go. How did we get from disabled shooting to Louise, what you call it in this channel? It's midnight here.
No, I don't think
it's on the food. Who changed it to food?
You did.
Oh, I did?
You did.
Yes, you did.
Yep. That was you.
Yeah. It was all you, Rick.
Okay. All right. That's all we'll be talking about. I think why I'm going on the food because I haven't eaten yet today. I had a late lunch.
So, I'm gonna get some dill relish and I'm gonna get some cheddar cheese and I'm gonna make a cheddar cheese and dill relish sandwich because
there you go. You can't beat it. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I might do that myself. Actually, have a couple of those. Watch some. Do some Netflix binging, watching.
Attaboy.
I watch a lot of British TV on Netflix and Amazon Prime. That's right, Phoenix. One in doubt, blame Midnight Range. TM.
That's right. Or Night Strike, either one.
Yeah, either
one. No. Don't blame Night Strike.
Yeah. I like watching British mysteries. I like watching. There's been 19 seasons, and they're making a 20th this year, and it's called Midsummer Murders. You ought to watch it from season 1. I mean, it is a great show. They're like mini movies. They're about an hour and a half long each episode. And it's the same characters in it, and they're the policemen. But the reason I love that show is it's in the Oxfordshire area, and that's where I used to live. They actually even done a show in the town I lived in, and I could, and stuff like that. And they go past pubs and stuff, and I go, "Oh, I know that place," Yeah, and then I of course, most of you, because they play a lot of it on PBS. Is like, remember the old Inspector Morse? Now they got Inspector Lewis. Then now they even got the one where before it, a prequel called Endeavor. And that was actually what Morse's name was, but nobody knew it in the show because he only went by the name of Morse. But they even have a prequel how he started in the police force and led up to where Morse started. So I'm all into that kind of British stuff. I don't know. I just find their documentaries, or not documentaries, their police dramas and stuff like that are a hell of a lot better made than America.
What about Doctor Who?
Oh, I love Doctor Who. I've been a Doctor Who fan since day one.
Not me.
Oh, yeah.
I can honestly say I never got into Doctor Who.
I've only been a fan of it since since they started doing it again.
Well,
because I think they've done it. They figured out how to do it better and get crowds in instead of
Oh yes, it's definitely a lot better since they restarted.
It's not as campy as the old ones.
Yes, yeah. And you're right. The old one was kind of I can't think of the word for it, but it was kind of skanky.
That's an understatement.
But yeah, since they started with what's his name, who was the actor? Can't even. But since they started with that guy,
Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, it was. It's been. I do enjoy it better. Now the last guy they had, I wasn't over keen on, but it was a good show overall, though. Still,
what Matt Smith?
No, the last one. What's his name? The Scottish guy.
Oh yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of him, but I'm definitely not going to watch Doctor Who as much anymore because of what's going on.
I think isn't Doctor Who becoming a woman?
Yeah, I'm not really keen into that, so I'm just gonna.
Well, I'm going to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to be modern with everybody else. It's kind of shame, though. You know?
It's shameful the way they're doing it. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah. What can you say?
And Vanessa Kitty is saying Peter Capaldi.
That's the guy. Yes, I wasn't over keen on him. Oh, Faulty Towers was a great show, Rich. Now that for comedy. Now if you want the funniest comedy that England has ever produced,
Monty Python's Flying Circus.
No, it's called Only Fools and Horses. You got to watch it from the beginning. It is hilarious. You know, it's called Only Fools and Horses. It's a great show. I mean, it's one of the funniest. I mean, those guys who played in it. Of course, their names have gone from my mind right now. But the two main characters in it, they won knighthoods for playing in this show. I mean, they're just it's hilarious. Just watch it. Get a chance to watch it.
You can be a knight by being a comedian.
What?
You can become a knight by being a comedian.
Yeah, well, for your efforts in television and stuff like that, yeah.
Oh wow!
You can become you can become the Knight of the Empire. Get an OBE. You know. A lot of stars get knighthoods and OBEs and all that stuff. Not necessarily for being a film star or TV star, but for the charity work they do along with it. You know, but if they weren't film stars, they wouldn't be doing the charity work type thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's just fame and recognition is all.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's even like what's her name, Judi Dench, who played M in James Bond before they killed her off in the last one before last or whatever. I mean, she didn't want them to use her title, but she was Dame Judi Dench, which is basically. She was knighted. They can't call her Sir Judy, so she gets the title of Dame. You know?
Nowadays in America, you call a chick Dame, she's going to smack the devil out of you.
Yeah. See, Rich White, Anthony Hopkins gave up his knighthood to become a U.S. citizen.
And he did the right thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, he did.
Did you know? Yeah, well, yeah, he is. Well, he does lean that way. He is a bit limp-wristed, Elton John. So he's put down.
Elton John more than a little bit.
You know.
He's got problems.
Yeah. Oh,
he's got more issues than Time Magazine and Night Strike.
Here's a bit of stuff for you. Did you know how sirloin got its name? Because it was knighted.
I knew that.
At King, it was knighted. I knight you sirloin because it was the best piece of meat you ever ate.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
Hey, that's what they taught me when I became a butcher back in the early 70s. I started off in an English butcher shop, and that's what they told me. You know, it always stuck with me. You know.
That was a show.
Rare? Is beef really expensive in England?
Yes.
Okay.
England, I would say that they eat more lamb than anything else. They eat a lot of imported lamb from New Zealand.
Reason I was asking is I dated a girl over in England when I was in the Navy, and they took me to their summer home, and her mom put a steak on for me, and well, she wiped its butt, slapped it on there, flipped it over, and threw it on my plate. It was still mooing.
You like it done a bit more than that?
And I was too bashful back then to say, could you please cook it until it's dead? And so I ate as much of it as I could, but I couldn't eat that much.
That's unusual for an
And
English person to cook it that light. They normally like it well done. You know what I'm saying?
oh man, I mean, this was more rare than rare.
When was this? What time
Oh
frame?
gosh, this was 89,
Yeah,
maybe
okay. Yeah,
90.
meat was expensive back then. They're mainly English people eat lamb a lot because it's one of the cheapest you can buy. Beef is expensive. But they have, somebody said we're going back to food chat again. Yeah. They love, what do you call it over here? But in England, they call it offal. The liver, the hearts, the spleens. They eat all that. Lamb's liver. I mean, I remember when I started in the business, that's what that's what they called the guy who was the apprentice, the boy. That was his job because it didn't matter if he messed it up. But we had to put out trays of lamb's liver, pig's liver, beef liver.
Organs.
Yeah, the organs. Hearts, pig's hearts, lamb's hearts, beef hearts. Pig's tongues, beef tongue, lamb's tongues. They all went out. And English people eat the hell out of that stuff.
You ever had buffalo?
Have I eaten buffalo? Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't eat any
buffalo or bison.
It was only a couple of years ago that I had some, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a couple buffalo or bison steaks before. They were absolutely delicious. But I also had more than a couple of my fair share of buffalo burgers where they made, ground beef out of buffalo meat. Oh my God. Best burger I have ever had.
Later, Black Cat. Yeah, it is. It's some nice stuff. It's nice stuff. Also, you got to remember, in England, meat in general was because of the war. Now the war ended in 1945, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meat was during the war and even after the war was rationed up way into the 50s. You could only get so much beef or meat per family, size of your family, and that was it. So
yeah, her mom was rather upset that I didn't finish that steak.
Yeah, you said, you should have said, pack it up and I'll take it with me, then cook it again when you got home. It's always having great these ideas after the fact, So there we go. Anyway, we're almost out of time here. And Clover Tech is next. Clover Tech Productions. So now, I can't remember the question off the top of my head. But last Saturday, I'm giving you guys a break here. Last Saturday, I posed a question in the last 5 minutes of my show to win a Clover Tech. Where is it? I got it all wrapped up here, ready to go for the winner. Some stickers, Clover Tech sticker, one of my stickers, one of Clover's poker chips. It was an email question. You have to email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. But you're going to have to listen to the show or fast forward it to the last 5 minutes and hear what the question was. It's an email question only. You've got to Friday midnight to get the answers into me. The only reason I'm letting you guys know this, so far, I've only got four people who sent the answer to me. So the chances of winning are great. You know what I'm saying? If you got the right answer. So there you go. Just listen to the show, and or just fast forward to the last 5 minutes and just listen to the question and email me the answer. There you go. And what I do is I got this program, this random pick generator, I think it's called. I put all the emails in there, copy and paste the emails in there. Then I hit spin and the thing spins and it pops out a name. And that's the winner. That's how I do it, guys. Yeah, I saw that, Rich. So there we go. Anything else? Anybody else got anything to say?
Hit or miss Tuesday nights at 9.
Yeah, hit or miss Tuesday nights at 9.
Yeah, I didn't see Smeggy this week.
I saw him online, but I did not see him in the chats. No.
Okay, yeah. I mean, actually, I slid out of your chat when it hit the hour because it was still going, and I was getting tired. You guys and everybody, there was 9 of you in there, and all of you had been to Tulsa.
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about. So I slid out. That maybe somebody else wanted to come in from Tulsa. So I don't know how much longer it lasted after that, but
not much longer.
That's why I slid out. Well, I wasn't trying to be rude, but you know what I'm saying.
You know those English are always rude.
Yeah, the English are always rude.
It's no, okay, we're the most polite people going.
No, that's the Canadians.
No, go on to Netflix, and there's a show called British Problems. And there's only a couple seasons, and it explains how the British people work and think, how they think and how they act. It's got some comedians on there, British comedians that you guys would recognize on there, explaining the British mentality. I found it hilarious. Anyway, even what's his name was on there, the guy who played Doctor Who,
Peter Capaldi.
No, the one that had it for a few seasons.
Oh, David Tennant.
Yeah, he's even on there explaining about British people. You know how weird they are and polite. We never. If you notice, a British person never complains at anything. He might complain. Say, like if you go to a hotel and you get a bad hotel, he won't complain to the hotel. He'll complain to everybody around him, but he won't complain to the hotel. Hey, see, I watched one of the shows like the other day. That's what made me think of it. You know? So, there you go.
Yeah.
That gal's mom sure didn't mind complaining about me not eating that steak.
Oh, Rick slid out because it was his bedtime. Yeah, one far off it, too. You're right there, just Dano. I'm getting old. I don't stay up. I mean, I can't burn the candle at both ends like I used to.
Yeah, Rick is getting old.
I am. I mean, it's getting even sad now that I ain't gonna lie. Most days I take a nap for an hour and a half. You know, I go lay down with the cats because they take over the bed. Man, they attack me when I go lay on the bed. Like, how dare you? You know, they scratch me and meow at me. Really vicious, hissing at me, actually. You know?
You show them what for?
Oh, I do, but they're big cats, don't forget. They're Maine Coons. I mean, my hands are scratched up to hell. You know? One of them's learned to pull the covers back in the morning now. Pulls the covers back because he gets hungry. He pulls the covers back, then they start tapping me on the head with his paw. You know?
My dog pulls my covers off of me when he's ready to eat.
Yeah. So I said, these cats are something else. So anyway, there we go. These are humongous Maine Coons. I've shown one on. One's not camera shy. The other one is he doesn't like being picked up. But I got an orange one. You've seen pictures of them. I've got videos out there. It's called Peanut. And the real big one, who in the hell named him? Need to be shot. Called him Cookie. You know, I rescued these cats. I mean, let's see, I've had them a couple of years now. So Peanut's got to be about 10 now, and the Cookie's got to be about 12 now. So I ain't gonna change your name after that length of time. You know what I'm saying? So
my cat was the guest that never left. Couldn't get rid of him. Just showed up one day and he's part of the family.
Yeah. The only problem, I'm normally a dog guy, but these cats, I said they're old. You know, they were 10 and 8. And they belong to this woman who was being put into a nursing home for good. And nobody would take both of them. They would split them up. But I thought, God damn, these cats have been together their whole lives. You know what I'm saying? You can't split them up. So I took them. But with a dog, I noticed with a dog, you're the master. With cats, I'm the servant. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got to do what they want. They don't do what we want. You know? I keep having this talk with them. You know, these cats. I sit there. They're sitting on the bed staring at me. Cats love to staring at me. And I think I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, how can I kill the son of a bitch? You know? And I
kill you and eat you.
I tell them, what we got here is a problem to communicate. You know, I'm the boss. You know, you do what I say. You know, then they just look at me and jump off the bed and go do what they want to do anyway. You know, so there you go. That's cats.
All right, I'm out. I'll see you later.
All right, I gotta go. Yeah, time's up. 8:00. So I want to say thank you all for showing up, listening to me waffle on about my food and my cats and everything else. I plan on making, I did mention this months ago, and I haven't forgotten, and somebody mentioned it in the show earlier here. I plan on making, you know, because everybody wants to know I was a meat cutter all my life. And I started off in a British butcher shop and stuff, and I plan on making some sausages. I just haven't got around to it yet. I haven't forgotten. It's just one of these things, you know, I got to have the ingredients at the right time, the money at the right time, and it's all going to gel, and it hasn't happened yet. But when it does, I will film it and do a video of it. So I want to say thanks for everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. And we will see you Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern.